Coach, got the pins and the shoes ready? Going bowling.
I'm proud of this team. I think the biggest thing is there's a real connection with this team, and I'm just really proud of those seniors. You take away the COVID year, that class, 5 straight bowl games. And I think if our program ever thinks that that's not a big deal, we're in the wrong place. These guys went out there, they earned it, they grounded out. Wasn't ideally the way we wanted to finish that game. But I also want to say I'm just really appreciative of all the fans that stayed for 60 minutes. It matters. It matters to our guys. It matters to our program. It shows their dedication, and I'd love to see it a little more. But I thank those people because it matters to our guys, and we needed them all the way to the end.
You mentioned maybe not the way you wanted to finish, and obviously the win's what matters, and getting bowl eligible is what matters. But what kind of happened, do you think, with the offense in the second half? Just didn't seem like they were able to get much going.
Well, I just think the biggest thing, we need to be, I think, a little bit more mature to handle leads. I think it's the second time or so. Colorado State comes to mind where we got a big lead. We did what we needed to do, and we didn't come out and finish the game. So it's competitive maturity. It's things that we're working on. But it wasn't just the offense. Defense didn't finish the game. So there's a lot to work on. Okay, but at the end of the day, we won it. We won it ugly, and that's the prettiest win that you'll ever have.
Any quick update on Maake?
No updates on anybody. Yep.
Colton, go ahead. Defensively, especially, I think it was 7 punts and a turnover in their first 8 drives. What do you think about your defense early, especially that was giving them fits?
We're really the last 2 drives away from having a really special performance. Really dominating in every phase type deal. And I think they caught a little bit of life at the end. And I think our guys relaxed a little bit. But, to start the game the way we did, offense, defense, special teams, reminded you last game, without the takeaways. But there's just as many 3-and-outs, creating field position. There's going to be a lot of learns from this tape. Just off the naked eye, just sitting here, there's just a lot of different plays that you think about that we need to clean up. But I am still proud of our team. It's a hard-fought win. It's hard to win. Arizona State, offensively has been 30-plus the last 4 games. So I thought we did what we needed to do to win the game. You'd love to come out and play a better second half.
You just talk about Nakia's influence on the offense, the kind of spark he gives you guys, and what you saw from him in the first half.
Let's remember, Nakia is probably about 75% out there gutting it out, and in these type of environments sometimes – it gets a little stiff, right? So we had to keep it loose as we kept going through it. But he's given us a spark the last 2 games. I think it's really easy to see. He's getting tough, hard, physical yards. And I think that's the sign of a good back, is it isn't just when it's always easy and open, right? It's finding a way to make some guys miss, and then when nothing's there, keeping the ball moving forward, which we've been better at the last couple of weeks, really up until that second half.
Do you sense that Emory Jones, when he came in at quarterback, did they shift the offense? How much did they shift the offense, and was that one of the main reasons for some of the defense?
No, credit to that kid for staying ready. That's a veteran, that's a mature player, and I think he just came in, and I think they kept it very similar. It wasn't like they were running him around all over the place. But I thought they did a good job catching us off balance and a couple pass calls, and then hitting some run seams. And Xavier and Valade, just got a chance to talk to him after the game. I'm proud of that kid. He plays hard. I think he's the one that kind of sparked them probably more than anything in the second half. And they made a couple key plays, but I think when needed the most, even on those 2-point plays, our defense, kept it to a 2-possession game. It's a credit to those guys to refocus when it wasn't going their way and make sure they finished those drives.
Coach, the offensive line has gone through some personnel changes over the last couple weeks, with seemingly putting out a new offensive line each of the last 3 weeks. How have you guys overcome the difficulty of throwing out new guys in new positions every week, and how will you guys look to continue that momentum forward into Arizona and Washington?
We're going to have to look at, once again this week is, who the best 5 are. I just think the biggest thing is when you sit down in fall camp, you start talking about guys, no matter what the result of, week 1 is as a starter, you got to be ready. When we talk about week 10, we talk about week 11, we talk about the focus that it takes to maintain being a backup throughout the course of the season and always staying ready. So Quinn McCarthy is a great example of that. He came out, Maake goes down early there in the second half, and Quinn steps in, and, we'll see what the tape says of performance, but I think in the Pac-12, when you grind through 10 weeks, this is what is going to happen. There's a lot of teams that are going through it, so the next man up has to be ready, and it's just a mentality that we constantly talk about.
Jake, during the 3-game losing streak, I remember you were saying staying the course, the course. That was the message. What does it say about this year's group, the way they've responded these last 2 weeks here?
That they really want to prove the type of team that they are, and we control that message. I think that's the biggest thing that we talk about all the time is we write our own stories. No offense to anybody, but at the end of the day, this group will be defined by how we finished after the bye week, right? And we'll remember November, and so far we're 2-0, and that's a special place to be. But this team wants to finish. They want to keep competing. They earned an opportunity to keep playing together, which is as big for the senior class as it is for those true freshmen that are going to get extra practices. But we want to finish. We feel like we're a good team. We really do. And they want to go out there and prove it. And I'm proud to coach these guys. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. I'm proud of that locker room. I'm proud to represent their work and their effort.
And what did you see at just Jalen, the time that he got in there, just coming back this week?
Jenkins?
Yeah.
Like Jalen, he's learning too, and to stay focused and to make sure that he can be effective when he's in there. But I think he's different, right? You see him, he can get through those, he can hit some of those big runs. It was good to see him bounce back from a little injury and keep going, and now hopefully he gets a true full week of practice and we can get him out there a little bit more.
Coach, you always hear about want to in a game, and something that sticks out to me was at the end of the second half, Nakia just bowling over those guys at the goal line. If he stopped short, you maybe get a timeout, you maybe get one more play, but just for kind of the desire to be able to run through.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I wanted him out. And he goes, Coach, I'm going in. I'm getting his first down, and let's go. So I think there's some times where you want to, lean on those guys and his physicality, his mindset. And like I said, he's been a warrior. He's wanted to get back and prove it. And I think he's had one heck of a season. Let's not just talk about the last 2 games. Nakia has far exceeded expectations in the run game, in the pass game, in the protection game. And he calms down our offense when he's out there because everyone trusts what he's going to do and the type of production you're going to get. So been really proud of Nakia and what he's brought to our team.
In the stretch of bowl appearances for this team, teams that you've been a part of, but this, of course, being your first full season as head coach. What does it personally mean to you?
It's not. I appreciate that question, but it's not me. It's them. It means a lot to me because I know those guys in that locker room. That's why it means so much to me, right? I tell them all the time that I give that team and those guys everything that I have, and that's what we expect out of them in return. So to have some success, to get to be in a bowl game, to be able to extend our season is really important to me because I know how much it means to them. Right? I mean that. So, that's why it means a lot to me.
Coach, just a few years ago, there was the air raid system. Then when you came in, the Cougar system. Today you had 35 rushing attempts. Can you speak on the emphasis of the running game?
I think part of it was situation, but part of it the last 2 weeks has been our successes is keeping the ball moving forward, and then when you can run the ball, you can take it down the field. And we had some opportunities today, and some early drop passes that we got to get over and make those plays. But I think it's all about wanting to consistently run the ball and be committed to it. And I think we've been better at that the last couple of weeks.
Every week he's going off. This week he had 10 total tackles, 7 solo tackles. Can you touch on him and his importance to just not just your team on the field, but the locker room?
I just think what he's brought to our team. I think the impact of that, obviously Justice and Jihad leaving last year, and for him to come in, and we knew Cisco and Trey would be able to lock down the Mike position, has just been an incredible boost to our program. And I thank Dayon for his trust in us, and this was the vision that we always had for him, and that we shared with him when we recruited him. And obviously Coach Ward, knew him from his last stop, and just the trust that he's had in us is really rewarding for us as coaches. So we keep pouring back into Dayon, and every week he goes out there and produces.
And staying in the course, as he mentioned earlier, and as you mention all the time, staying in the course. Well, how do you take this game and not let it be the peak of your season? How do you continue and keep going up?
Well, I think it's a 1-0 approach, and it's a 1-0 mindset. We accomplished the mission today. Okay, we'll come back on Monday. We'll get our learns, and then Monday afternoon we move on to a new target. It's not changing. The message isn't up and down. It's consistent, and I think young people need that.
Final questions?
Yes. Coach, how are you celebrating bowl status?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go home and hopefully eat this early kick, and I'm gonna put some burgers on the grill, and I'm gonna join my kids, and we're gonna have some fun too. My brother's in town, so we're gonna celebrate as a family, as a program, and be ready to come back to work early tomorrow.
More dancing?
Little Wazoo men's basketball.
Yeah, a little bit. We'll watch a little Wazoo. Watch a little Wazoo basketball.
Good.
All right, guys. Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys.